Hello everyone! My name is Abby and I am the tween librarian at the Public Library of Brookline, and I'm really excited today to walk you through our Among Us crewmate handwarmer pattern that was included in our Fandom kits this month. So everything that you needed for these kits was included in the kit that you picked up for the library, but if you didn't happen to get a kit, that's okay. You can find everything you need just pretty much at home or at a craft store. And you can also find this pattern on our website as well. So included in the kit are 3 pieces of a solid color of felt, so they should all be the same color, 1 piece of white felt, a skein of 6-string embroidery floss in black, or really just whichever color you would like, a needle, and so our needle is inside this little piece of cardstock there, this pattern to cut out your crewmate, and then not included in the kit but things that you will still need are a pair of scissors and some rice. To begin with, we're going to start with our felt and our pattern. So we're going to need to cut out these pieces of felt according to this pattern here, and you're going to want to use 2 pieces of the green felt, and you're gonna cut out just this basic shape, so you don't need to worry about the little visor there in the middle. And you're gonna cut that out 2 times, so you want just the basic outline of crewmate twice. And then for your 3rd piece of felt, you're gonna cut out the little backpack on the back, so just this little shape here in that same piece of felt, or same color of felt. And then for the white piece of felt, you're going to cut out the visor. And so I'm going to do that right now, and we'll meet back in just a couple of minutes. Okay, you can see here I have all the pieces of felt I need now to make my crewmate handwarmer. I've got a front piece, a back piece, a visor, and a backpack that's in the same color as the crewmate. And, I just cut them out according to these patterns here. I cut out 1 of the big shapes and then 2 of the little shapes. They're kind of the same one, so you can just cut out, say, 1 of them if you wanted to do the visor and the backpack. But now our next step is to thread our needle and get ready for sewing. And now we're ready to thread our needle. So you're going to get your embroidery floss ready here. I've taken off the kind of wrapping around it. And when you look at the floss, you're going to notice, if you get rid of this here, that it's made of 6 strings of floss, 6 individual strings. And so you're going to want to cut off a good amount of that, maybe about 2 feet or so. And then you're going to want to separate out just 3 strings. So make sure you get just 3, like so. And then you're going to pull it like this to separate it. And then at the end of this, you'll have 2 strings of 3, or sorry, 2 strings of 3 of the floss. Alright, great. So I've got my floss here. And now what I'm going to do, ready to thread our needle here. Make sure you get your needle ready. And get all 3 of those strands through the needle. You can wet the strands a little bit to make it easier to get through. Pull them through. Great. And then find the other end of your floss. Ooh, I lost one of my ends. There we go. And going to tie them together. And a knot here. And the knot can be kind of big. Okay. Alright, so to get started on sewing our handwarmers, we're going to be sewing the visor to one of the pieces and then the backpack to one of the pieces first, and then later we'll be sewing both the pieces together. But we're going to be using the same stitch for all of it, and it's called a blanket stitch, which is just a pretty basic hand sewing stitch. And you'll see I've started here, so the very first thing you're going to do is you're just going to push your needle through the back of the yarn and pull it through just your colored piece of felt. So not the white part yet, or what if you're starting with the backpack, not the little part yet, just the big part. And so you'll pull it straight through, and then you'll kind of pick a spot on your visor, depending on how long you want the stitch to be. You can make them pretty long, or you can make them really short. I'm gonna go kind of like right here in the middle. And you're gonna put your needle through both parts of the felt, so the little part and the big part. And then you're gonna come up with your needle, and you're gonna make sure that you're getting it right back through that same hole that or at least really, really close to it, that it came through originally. And so whenever you pull it, you'll pull it all the way through until you leave a little bit of a loop here. And then you're going to push your needle through that loop and then pull it tight by pulling it upwards like so. And that is your very first blanket stitch. And so we're going to continue along just like that. So I'm going to choose another spot right here or so, and making sure that the stitches are roughly the same length, and it just kind of makes it look a little bit nicer. Push it through both the little piece of felt and the big piece of felt, and then come up, and you're going to want to get it right, your needle right there at the edge of the visor, or whatever little piece you're doing, if you're doing the backpack first. And then pull it through. And then same thing. You're not going to pull it through all the way yet. You're going to push your needle through it like so. And then, yep, and there is your second stitch. So let's do a couple more. You're going to do that stitch all the way around, and they don't have to be perfect. I kind of think it looks cuter if they're like all a little bit different, but you want them to be kind of roughly the same size and apart. And so I'm going to go all the way around, and then we'll meet back here at the end, and I'll show you how to close off this stitch. Okay, so you can see that I've done my blanket stitch most of the way around the visor, and now we're going, and I just have one little stitch spot left. We're going to finish that up, and I'm just going to stick it right back here in that original stitch, and then come up right there, pretty near it. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want to be pretty close. And then pull it through, just like all the other stitches. And there we go. And so that finishes up the front, but we still need to kind of tie it off on the back. And so you're just going to kind of push it through, push your needle through the back. Like so. And then here on the back, you're going to pull the thread through one of those stitches a couple of times, and maybe even make a knot in it. And then once you're done, you can take that off, and then there you go. You have one of the pieces for your hand warmer. Now, so you're going to do that exact same thing with the other piece, with the backpack and the other large piece, except instead of it facing horizontal this way, you're going to sew the backpack on vertical this way. So we're going to do that same blanket stitch that you did here with this, and once we're done with that, we will be able to start sewing the pieces together. So that'll be our next step. Alright, so now that we have our two pieces sewn here, we have our front piece with the visor and then our back piece with the backpack. It is time to start sewing those together, and we're just going to use that same stitch, the blanket stitch that we've been using this whole time, to put those pieces together. So you see I have my, I'm threading my needle here, so I'm just going to pull the ends together so I can make a knot. And then like so. And I'm just going to cut off the tail. That's not in the way. I have the needle ready here. And so we're going to need to line up our pieces. So they are ready. And to start, you're just going to start by going into one of the pieces. So you don't want to get two of them, you just want to get it so that that knot is going to be on the inside of your hand warmer. So, and then we're going to be doing that exact same stitch that we've been doing, but just through two pieces of felt with, like, yeah, so we're going to do it around the outline rather than like one piece onto a bigger piece. So to do the blanket stitch, we're just going to, like I said, pull it through right there, and then we're going to come around the back, and this time you're going to catch both of the pieces of felt, and you're going to pull your needle up right through that same, or really close to that same hole that the first ones came through, and pull through, and make sure that you're leaving a little loop for yourself, like so, and then pull your needle through it. Great. And so you've got your first beginning stitch there. And so with the blanket stitch, you want to make sure that you're always coming at it from the same side. So in this case, I'm going to be coming at it from the back. Here's my second one. Pull needle through. And there we go. There's our second stitch. And you're just going to do that all the way around. So you're going to do that all the way around, and you're going to want to leave a little bit of a space, and we'll put in our rice then, and then we'll close it up after we put in the rice. So I'll meet you back when we're about, you'll want to leave about maybe 2 inches or so unsewn so that we can put the rice in. So we'll get there in a second. Alright, so we've sewn most of it here and left just a little bit of space here for our rice. We're going to put it now. I didn't really measure my rice, I just dumped a bunch in this cup. But you don't want to fill it so that it's like completely full. You want it to still have a little bit of wiggle room in there. But you do want to get the rice down into like the legs and all the parts. So we're going to be pretty careful about this. Pour in. So I'm just going to put that in there and I'm going to shake it around so it gets into all of the different areas. More. Still a little bit of rice everywhere. That's okay. Make sure that I get the legs there. Alright. So you can kind of fill it however much you want it to. You don't want it to be, stuffed completely full with like rice popping out all the sides and stuff. You can definitely fill it to however whatever volume you want. And after we put in the rice, we're just gonna sew up the rest of this here and then tie it off. And then, so I'm gonna do that now and then we'll be done. Alright, and so once you've sewn it up, you have your own little crewmate hand warmer. And so you can just kind of pop that in the microwave for, like 30 seconds at a time, and it'll get nice and warm, and you can put it in your pocket, keep your hands warm, or put it in some gloves, anything you kind of want to do with it. And it's super, super cute. So thank you all for crafting along with me today. Really excited about the new Fandom kits, and I hope to catch you guys next month with our Fandom kit where we will be making a Baby Yoda keychain out of paracord. And you can find all that information on our website, brooklinelibrary.net. Thank you.